soon as the verdict becomes clear. Interestingly, BJP Minister R. Ashok is accepting it, saying they are not saints and they will try and form a government whether or not they get a majority. Listen in.
Let him be happy with 141 till tomorrow. The reality will be there. I don't know. I don't want to comment on other party leaders' assessments. I got my own assessment. It has been proved wrong last time in 2018. Yes, sir. The same thing will be proved wrong this time.
Majority, all our own surveys, even the Central Government Intelligence Bureau surveys, even all surveys are showing that we will be able to get a majority. So we are not too much worried. But yes, definitely with this menace that BJP has spread today in India's politics of trying to, because already they are trying. Many of our MLAs are contacting and offering them huge amounts of money already. They are trying to say, we'll make you minister, come over to us. Some of our MLAs have been contacted by BJP. Look at the level that they are stooping. And they talk about dharma and all that. So we are prepared for all eventualities.
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂತೀರಿ. ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಪೂರ್ಣ ಬಹುಮತ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಗಲೇ ತಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾನು ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ನಾವು ವೇರ್ ಎ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ, ನಾವೇನು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಬಿ ಪ್ಲಾನನ್ನು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ.
Okay, let's go straight across to Imran, who's joining us live on the broadcast. He's joining us from Bangalore. Imran, the BJP has set the cat amongst the pigeons. The Congress is already fearing that there will be Operation Lotus that will be launched as soon as numbers start becoming clear. But interestingly, I believe the JDS, Okay. Madhav, I'm welcoming you to the show, because what's live television without some technical errors? And we have a technical error here. I'm being told Imran is not live with us. His phone has got cut. Anyhow, theek hai, koi baat nahi. Now, since you've just returned from Karnataka, you've spent many days there. In fact, many weeks there. It's interesting to me that the BJP is also saying that the Congress is trying to poach MLAs from us, and the JDS is also saying that the Congress and the BJP both. I mean, what fun elections are.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, what do you expect them to say? To be fair, even if you are on the losing side, you're obviously going to put up a brave face. You have your supporters. You have, of course, B plans already there. Perhaps, who knows if the margin is very narrow. If any of the parties comes closer to the striking distance, then certainly, of course, there's every possibility that there could be, some kind of attempt at cobbling together. If there are, for instance, there are a large number of rebel candidates. There are about 18 and 12 on the BJP and Congress's side, respectively. So if those rebels, for instance, manage to become a huge bloc, that itself could be something like we've seen earlier in 2013 happen. Now, the larger question that certainly you have to ask is that, is the Congress, is this kind of resort politics that's being planned out, is it completely unfounded? And the answer is very clearly no, because they've been singed with Operation Kamla not once but twice in Karnataka. Right. That's how the governments have been formed. So perhaps once bitten, twice shy, in this case twice bitten. So we can only expect that the Congress would be taking kind of precautions.
That the rebel candidates are the ones that actually pose a danger.
Not just the rebels. I'm just saying that we don't know how well the JDS will do. All exit polls, if one thing they're predicting for sure is that JDS's numbers are coming down to the below 30 mark. So what happens to those extra seats? Will those extra seats in Old Mysore, for instance, go to the Congress? Will the BJP's attempts at changing about 16, 17 candidates and adding fresh faces, will that work? The Prime Minister campaigned quite extensively in Old Mysore region as well, as he did in Bengaluru. So what happens in all of these regions, and that X factor, will that Modi magic work in an assembly poll? It does work in Lok Sabha polls, as we know. It has happened in Karnataka between 2014 and 19. If you look at the voting percentage of the BJP, it's actually gone up by 10% in the Lok Sabha elections. But what happens in the assembly? There's so many factors at play at the moment over here that it's very difficult to completely predict. But yes, the Congress party is certainly hoping that it puts its best foot forward, that the usual factionalism that you see within the Congress party, this time around, I think one can fairly observe and say that at least all leaders have more or less attempted to put up a brave face. But that hasn't been quite the case as far as the BJP is concerned.
But now, if the Congress manages to win, the badi ladai will be who becomes chief minister. That's a ladai playing out as well. Now, the two men who have the most at stake right now are Basavaraj Bommai, the embattled chief minister of Karnataka, and the Congress state president, D.K. Shivakumar, who just, by the way, is one of the richest politicians in India. Both are excluding enough confidence for a world takeover. Listen into them.
Let him be happy with 141 till tomorrow. The reality will be there. I don't know. I don't want to comment on other party leaders' assessments. I got my own assessment. It has been proved wrong last time in 2018. Yes, sir. The same thing will be proved wrong this time.
Anyway, I'm fully confident. Not even a single point I have any doubt on it. Our hard work will pay. That situation will not arise. We will have an absolute majority. God willingly, people of Karnataka are highly matured. They will not go for any fracture mandate.
Now, the man who everyone wants to hear right now is JDS boss HD Kumaraswamy. He's the man tipped to be the kingmaker in Karnataka, despite exit polls predicting a dip in his numbers, possibly below 30 as well. Who will he go to? Who will he go with? The choice will be his to make, and he will extract his pound of flesh, we know that. This is what HD Kumaraswamy is asking for. 1, he wants to be chief minister. 2, he wants a free hand in running the government. 3, he wants plum portfolios for his team. And 4, he wants all promises in the JDS manifesto fulfilled. Before I go to my guests, a quick question to Madhav before I let him go. Madhav, we don't know, right, which way things will play out. It's too close to call. And Mr. HD Kumaraswamy has managed to become chief minister twice in coalition governments. But do you think that the list of demands that he's already put out, that the BJP or the Congress will be willing to go with that, given the fact that there are personal ambitions involved both in the BJP and the Congress?
Well, I can tell you that leave alone the state leadership, at the central level, certainly if they are within striking distance, then they will give in an arm and leg and make HD Kumaraswamy the chief minister. Whether this will actually be possible or not is, of course, a very important question, because which side is closer to actually forming a government is also a very important factor. Leave alone another very important factor, which is that within the JDS itself, something that many don't really talk about much is there's a huge struggle for power between Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, his family members, and his elder brother H.D. Ravana and his family members. So the difficult job at this point of time for Mr. H.D. Devagowda, who said that this would be his last election, would be to decide between them and make one of them the chief minister, because that would mean pretty much finishing off, the political prospects of the other side. So there are various factors at play over here when it comes to the JDS itself, because the JDS itself is also undergoing a huge generational change. Mr. Kumaraswamy's son, Mr. Ravana's son have all for the second time round now. How will they succeed? What will take over the party once all of them, on their political careers perhaps come to an end over the next election or two? All of these are also important factors on ground when you're talking about the JDS. But yes, JDS is a party that time and again has surprised many. It has, for instance, in the 2004 election, got as many as 58 seats in the same old Mysore region. But now will it be able to actually work its magic? And will the fact that Mr. Devagowda has been the Prime Minister, represents the Vocaliga community, will all of that be enough in a very hard-fought election where the Congress, the BJP are all wooing these Vocaliga voters? So what happens in this scenario is perhaps because of that a little difficult to predict, primarily because it's a three-way contest.
It is a three-way contest. Madhav, we'll let you go. Thank you very much. You have a long, long day tomorrow as well. I think it starts at what, 6 a.m.?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We will be in our studios at 6 a.m. and certainly we'll be bringing you a lot of updates. It's going to be an extremely long day, and we certainly hope that whatever happens, that it's clear on date.
It ends tomorrow.
Because if not, we've seen it go on for weeks, months even. I remember in the 2004 election, it went on for about 3 months before we finally knew who was becoming the chief minister. And that kind of suspense can really...
That's the nightmare for reporters in Bangalore, actually, that this election will possibly end up stretching on till August, if not more. We'll leave it there for the moment, Madhav. Thank you very much. Introducing my guest this evening, T. Sankirthara is spokesperson of the BJP. Joining us on the broadcast, Dhruv Jatti is spokesperson of the Congress party. Prashanti SG is spokesperson for the JDS. Prashanti, thank you very much. Can I start with you? Since everyone seems to be talking about the JDS this evening, we'll talk about the Congress's poaching charges and the BJP's counter charges in just a bit. But has the JDS made up its mind which way it wants to go? Hi, Pooja, I see you on the screen as well. Good evening. Hi, welcome to the show. Prashanti, the first question for you.
would definitely like to go with the party who gives us unconditional support to the party based on our schemes, the Pancharatna schemes. If they are supporting us, definitely we would go with them. However, poaching, what you were saying, it would not happen in our party. We see dedicated workers, dedicated MLAs with us, and that is definitely not a question.
Okay, Prashanti, then let me put this question to you very simply. If the BJP and the Congress party show you equal love, who will you go with?
I think that the party leaders will decide, will call for a legislative assembly meetings, and definitely the party head would decide on that.
Okay, you're not saying much,
Because
and I expected not to
yeah, but
I
I would like to,
expected you not to say much because this is a delicate question. But Pooja is fairly convinced. If push comes to shove, Pooja, you've been telling us that the JDS will probably pick the Congress over the BJP.
Yes, but I have also maintained, if you remember, that it won't be easy because this time the Congress will not be willing to bend backwards like they did last time. So, what we've picked up is that the position of the chief minister being offered to JDS is perhaps off the table as far as Congress is concerned. And the same thing applies to BJP because we've been speaking to our sources in BJP also, and they are willing to negotiate with JDS if they have to. But again, there is no question of allowing the JDS leader to become the chief minister. Perhaps Kumaraswamy this time around cannot hold the same kind of bargaining that he did last time. So, what are the terms that they will get is something we'll have to see. Perhaps some plum portfolios, the number of ministries. These are things that they'll have to work out. But yes, JDS does maintain that they are more keen on Congress. But of course, we heard Kumaraswamy today say that they're willing to negotiate with both teams, both parties, because they do want Congress thinking that Congress is the only option for JDS, because that will narrow down, possibilities and give Congress the upper hand. So the JDS will negotiate with both parties, but they are leaning more towards Congress still.
Okay. Dhruv Jatti, would you want to come in here? Who the JDS goes with, whether the Congress party is willing to accept their terms and conditions or not is something that will play out today. What is playing out today is again threats of resort politics. I believe that that the Congress is fairly convinced that the BJP is ready with its Operation Kamala or Operation Lotus, and plans are underway already to poach your MLAs. What is giving you that sort of confidence in the BJP's, in the BJP's conspiracy, as it were?
They've done it twice on the whole, and I don't think we can ever rule out their unethical level of politics. And the people of Karnataka this time are looking for a full mandate. It's been over a decade since we've seen that 2013 was last. So we don't want to comment too much on the hypothetical scenarios that are arising right now. The best one that we want to believe is the couple of surveys that show that we have a full majority, and the remaining would show that we are on the verge of getting the full majority. So on the whole, it looks like we're in a comfortable position. And with regard to poaching, there's not much that we're afraid of at this point of time. Our camp is united on the whole.
Okay, no, if it was so united, then the party wouldn't have already planned on, booking hotels in Hyderabad and Bangalore and getting all its winning candidates there. That is exactly what we are hearing. If that is happening, obviously there is a fear that the BJP might try and poach.
No, it's not a fear psychosis. It's moreover a question of unity, which we have already. What we want to do is keep the camp all put together. The Bharatiya Janata Party and their stick style of politics is something that we've seen for a while now. And there's nothing wrong in being cautious about it. We want to make sure that our camp is together at a point of time, especially when we're heading towards victory.
Mr. Sankirtha, now many people will say that the Congress's fears are not unfounded because R. Ashok, your own minister, has set the cat amongst the pigeons, saying we are not saints, we are here to form government. If you don't get a majority, we have plan B ready. Now, if you make statements like that, not once, but twice, but thrice on television, obviously the Congress will be jittery about Operation Lotus.
See, firstly, we told that statement in a positive way because we have come to politics to do politics. We are not saying that is Bharatiya Janata Party's ideology too, and it's very pretty much clear. See, we are not here, we are here as a political party to do politics. Firstly, if you see the statement of the two parties, what I was trying to see, they have that insecurity feeling of losing their MLAs, and they are on the losing edge. It's very much clear and evident because they are on the losing edge. They are giving these kind of statements. But we are on the winning edge. We are always expressing that we will form a full-fledged majority government with not only just 113 seats, more than that. So this is our stand and this is their stand. So it is pretty much evident that because of their insecurity and these two parties are on the living edge, they're definitely giving these kind of a statement. I would like to also quote, if you see 20 years of the electoral politics history of Karnataka in assembly elections, the 2004, it was a hung assembly, but in the 2008, people wanted a full-fledged government but BJP lost in few more seats, but we end up getting 110 seats. Again, if you take the 2013 assembly, the Congress had a full-fledged majority. Again, if you take the 2018, people ended up as 104. Again, this thing, but we'll break the 38-year jinx, and if you take the 20-year history also, we will end up coming back to power in this 2023 election.
But Mr. Sankirtha, where is this confidence coming from? Given the fact that 7 out of 10 exit polls that have been done are saying it's going to be a hung assembly, and there are 2 that are giving a complete majority to the Congress party, and there's only 1 that is giving you a complete majority. Are you saying all these exit polls, 10 out of them don't know what they are doing?
Yeah, I would not like to comment on the exit polls and what is their strategy and what is their plan and what is their modus operandi of giving their predictions. Is not my job to comment on. But we have pretty much, when the government schemes that have been announced in Karnataka from the BJP, it is evident and it has reached the people. Unlike 2013 to 2018, the self-proclaimed golden era is that is called by the Congress. The schemes that were announced, they always try to claim that we had given so many schemes, we have achieved this much percentage of the schemes. But still, why did they come back from a full-fledged majority to just 80 seats? Because all those announcements were just on paper, black and white. It did not reach the people of Karnataka. But the schemes which have been given by the Bharatiya Janata Party government in Karnataka have reached the people. The double engine government, it has been, the schemes which have been taken have been evident in Karnataka. So all these factors and the Modi, which is a very big trump card for us, is all these factors are working in favor of us and we are on the winning edge.
Okay, you're on the winning edge. You know, I don't have too much time, and I hope, Dhruv, you can just take 20 seconds to respond to my question. In retrospect, in hindsight, do you feel the Congress party, and you know, now elections are over, tomorrow is counting, I think we can be more honest about this than we have been in the past. Did the Congress shoot itself in the foot with the entire Bajrang Dal fiasco?
Not at all, simply because we stated 2 organizations that were topping the chart of creating communal disharmony in society. And there's nothing wrong that we did with the Bajrang Dal. The Bharatiya Janata Party was left with no cards to play, hence they played that. None of their tactics worked ever since the beginning. And I think in response to the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, the double engine only comes into play when they want to buy MLAs, and that's the only double engine that we've seen ever since 2013.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. But Pooja, can I quickly, before I wrap this chat, I wanted to point out to a certain irony that I've been wanting to talk about, and somehow no one wants to talk about it. Karnataka is India's richest state, right? It's India's most prosperous state. 36% of its GDP actually comes from one district, that is Bangalore urban. Now, the entire state had a healthy vote share. I mean, voter turnout, 73%. How much was Bangalore urban? Exactly 56%. I know that what we are talking about right now is not connected to what we've spoken about in the last 20 minutes, but I'm just curious to understand why people in Bangalore don't want to step out and vote.
This is something we've noticed time and again. But if I could just take 10 seconds to talk about what you just asked, Dhruv, it seems like this entire Bajrang Dal thing has helped the Congress, because most of the exit polls are showing that the Muslims have consolidated behind the Congress. Usually it used to be a split between JDS and Congress, but this time around they seem to have decisively backed the Congress. So I'm sure the Bajrang Dal proposed ban has contributed largely to it. But coming back to your question, it is really, really sad that we have been seeing voter apathy, particularly in cities like Bengaluru, in urban pockets. But one thing that we've seen, at least 15 to 20%, we are told, are people who have double voter cards, Shreya. And these are people living in places like Mandya, Mysuru, an hour's drive from Bengaluru, or two at most. And they have gone back to their constituencies to cast their vote there, which is why in Bengaluru, it has not contributed to the voter turnout. So, it does mean that there are multiple, people have multiple voter cards. So there needs to be a complete revision of the voter rolls, perhaps in time for the 2024 elections. And I'm sure this is the case elsewhere in the country too, because it's not taken seriously enough. People who have votes have been left out of the voter rolls, and some other people have, voter card in two places. So these are issues that need to be resolved as well.
Okay, we leave it there for the moment. Tomorrow is going to be a long day for all of you, I'm certain. It's certainly going to be a long day for all of us here in office. And tomorrow promises to be a fun day. A long day, but a fun day as well. T. Sankirtha, thank you very much for joining us. Dhruv, good to have you on the show. Prashanti, thank you very much. And Pooja, always good to have you on the show as well. With that, it's a wrap from me on Urban Debate. Afrida is up next with all the